The United States of America quarter dollar dated 1986 is part of the long-running Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth and has since become a staple of U.S. coinage. The 1986 quarter retains a classic design introduced in 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan, whose portrait of Washington was based partly on John Antoine Houdon's 18th century bust of the first U.S. president. On the obverse front of the 1986 quarter, we see the left-facing profile of George Washington, with the word Liberty positioned boldly across the top, the national motto, "In God We Trust," to the left below Washington's chin, and the year of mintage 1986 centered at the bottom. If struck at the Denver or San Francisco mints, the coin bears a small D or S mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon, while coins from Philadelphia that year carried no mint mark, a tradition for Philadelphia quarters before 1980, revived briefly in some years. The reverse back of the coin continues Flanagan heraldic eagle design, a bald eagle with outstretched wings clutching a bundle of arrows, symbolizing readiness to defend the nation, with two olive branches beneath symbolizing the desire for peace. Around the top curve is the legend, United States of America. The motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one, appears above the eagle's head, and quarter dollar is inscribed at the bottom, denoting its face value of 25 cents. Technically, the 1986 quarter is a copper-nickel-clad coin composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, weighing 5.67 grams, measuring 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and featuring a reeded grooved edge. This clad composition having replaced the earlier 90% silver alloy after 1964 due to rising silver prices. In terms of mint production, 1986 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint P, Denver Mint D, and San Francisco Mint S for proof sets, with overall mintage figures numbering in the hundreds of millions, making the coin common in circulation, but collectible in high uncirculated grades or with cameo-proof qualities. Historically, 1986 in the United States was the second year of Ronald Reagan's second presidential term, a period marked by the Cold War's gradual thaw, the Challenger space shuttle disaster, and growing computer technology in everyday life, context that adds cultural flavor for collectors. Numismatically, circulated 1986 quarters generally hold only face value, but in mint state, MS, grades of 65 or higher, especially with full luster and no contact marks, they can be worth modest premiums. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast from San Francisco are prized among specialists. While not rare, the coin represents a pre-50 state quarters era design, the last decades when the Washington quarter maintained a single consistent reverse before the 1999 to 2008 state program transformed its look. For those assembling data mint mark runs of Washington quarters, the 1986 piece is an essential entry, bridging the gap between early copper-nickel issues and the later commemorative style quarters, offering a tangible snapshot of late 20th century American coinage design, technology, and symbolism in one small but historically resonant piece of metal. Next top the United States of America quarter dollar from 1990 is part of the long-running Washington Quarter Series, a coinage program that began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin's obverse features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, based on John Antoine Houdon's 18th century bust of Washington. On this side, Washington's profile faces left, with the word Liberty arched above his head, the national motto In God We Trust to the left, and the year 1990 positioned below his neckline. The designer's initials JF are subtly placed at the base of Washington's neck truncation. The reverse of the coin, used from 1932 to 1998 before the 50 state quarters program began, depicts a heraldic eagle with wings spread, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing preparedness for defense, and framed below by two olive branches, signifying peace. The inscriptions United States of America and E pluribus unum, out of many one, appear above the eagle, while quarter dollar is inscribed along the lower rim. This reverse design was also the work of John Flanagan and remained largely unchanged for decades. The 1990 quarter was struck in two main compositions depending on its origin. Business strikes for circulation were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, a pure copper core sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, while a limited number of proof coins were struck in 90% silver for collectors, primarily at the San Francisco Mint. Mint marks for 1990 include P. Philadelphia, D. Denver, and S. San Francisco, located on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and a reeded edge. In terms of historical context, 1990 falls near the end of the pre-state quarter era, making these coins common in circulation, but of interest to collectors seeking high-grade uncirculated examples or deep cameo proofs. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 613 million quarters, while the Denver Mint produced over 927 million, making the total mintage of the copper-nickel issues exceptionally high, which is why worn examples carry only face value. The San Francisco Mint proof issues, however, had a mintage of just over 3.2 million, with the silver proofs numbering around 695,000, and these are far scarcer in pristine condition. Economically, the coin represents an era of stable U.S. circulating coinage, with its design deeply embedded in American identity before the radical redesigns of the late 1990s. The 1990 quarter also reflects Mint's growing technological improvements in die making and striking quality, though minor varieties and errors exist, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws, which can be valuable to specialists. In the broader numismatic narrative, this coin is a bridge between the classic mid-20th century designs and the commemorative explosion of the 21st century, serving as both a utilitarian piece of currency and a cultural artifact, linking the American public to its revolutionary heritage through the enduring image of Washington and the national symbols of the eagle, arrows, and olive branches. Today, circulated 1990 quarters are ubiquitous and worth 25 cents, but uncirculated mint state examples, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher by professional services, can command significant premiums, as can deep cameo proofs in flawless condition.